Good evening, everyone. Turn the PA off. Welcome, day number 108. We're still here. Everyone's jumping in here now. Want to say welcome and thank you for being here tonight. Tonight is an absolutely full night. I've been speaking to Ukraine all day long, and today's has not been a good day militarily. The deal is this. Rostic was talking with us last night about it, and we're out of ammunition. I mean, they've got some, but we're out of ammunition, folks, and it's not good. It's not good. Ukraine had to pull back on many fronts today. Do not want to call it a retreat, but they had to back up to fortified positions, and there are some dangers of entrapments. We'll look at that in just a moment. If you saw the program and the title tonight, it's World Leaders Are Failing, and they are. They're completely failing. They are struggling big time. Tonight, I have some very interesting things that I'm going to be sharing with you in regard to the war, in regard to the international leaders. I also have Rostovich translated from a little while ago when he was speaking about this and referring to the only nations in the world that actually get it. And, you know, when you hear what he's going to say, it's pretty incredible. And it's kind of what we've been saying the whole time. We are so close to a disaster of epic levels that people can't see it. Good evening, sitting outside by the fire, listening, praying for a miracle, and come to Jesus moments for our leaders. Amen. That's where we're at. Welcome to you guys there. Every day, every 23 hours. Let's jump into it. I can tell you, Zhenya's asleep. Rostic's doing well. I've been talking to both of those guys today. We've got lots translated. We've got some incredible video to show you, all the updates, and over the next few minutes, you're going to be completely updated what it is. Energy Center, welcome. All right. I entitled the name of the program tonight, World Leaders Are Failing, and as always, I'm not here to pick on anybody in particularly. I can't help it. You know, that was just the first picture that was in my index. So I have everything organized, indexed, and 108 days. I have every video, every document, every transcript. I could write a book on the first 108 days of the war. So, you know, I don't have anything in order as far as incompetent world leaders handling the Ukraine situation, among other things. But in that folder, this just happened to be the first photo that came up. I don't know. It's because his name starts with a B, Biden. Yeah, because everything's alphabetized. So, you know, I'm not picking on our president. It's just, if the shoe fits, you have to wear it. And right now, we may have to crank up the aggressiveness a little bit. Biden says Zelensky didn't want to hear the U.S. warnings of invasion. June 11th is this headline. I do not show a lot of headlines, but you need to see this one. So now we're going to go ahead and start blaming war failure because they're getting pushed back today. We're going to go ahead and blame war failure or Russia potentially winning this war. It's actually Zelensky's fault because he didn't want to hear when we were telling you that they were coming. Of course, Zelensky has replied and said, of course, we were aware they're coming. We're outgunned. You want us to be the buffer. Then Biden said Ukraine may have to give Russia land in negotiated settlement. What was the title of the program tonight? World Leaders Are Failing. It's not just President Biden. You've got Macron and Schultz, and we're going to talk about Schultz here in a few minutes, but it's unacceptable, folks. And it comes down to this. Let's get spiritual. These nations either are incompetent, which they are, or B, leaders of nations are experiencing hardened hearts because things of biblical proportion and prophetic nature are going to unfold. It's the only two options. And Ricochet, you're spot on. If the U.S. knew they should have been sending weapons earlier, it's the truth. Right now, folks, I'm telling you, Ukraine, they're running out. They're running out. So, of course, Podolyak comes back and responds. If Ukraine wasn't prepared for the war, why did the first Russian strikes hit mock-ups? Ammunition was scattered. Trainings were held in January and February. Ukraine's been preparing since last year. We've known about the invasion not only from Western, but also by our intelligence. When others gave us 3 days, Ukrainian intelligence said we will endure. What other countries have done to stop it, knowing Moscow's plans? A question. If we had started getting heavy weapons in January, the situation could have been different. And that's from very soft-spoken Podolyak, who is dropping the truth. It's starting to spew now from Western leaders. And I'm not knocking. We've given a lot of money. We've given weapons, but we've given enough weapons just to get them killed. That's it, not to win the war. So something has to change, and we'll be talking more about that in just a moment. Now, while all of this is happening, Russia is licking its chops. Almost every evening, I show you the propaganda. I show you their news. I show you things that are translated. So while the world is fighting over, let's call it for what it is. President Biden came out and said, we told you this was going to happen and you didn't listen to us. And Podolyak, Zelensky, Arestovich, Kuleba all respond and said, what are you talking about? We've known for a year and been preparing. You're the ones that guaranteed our security when we gave our defensive weapons up. Where are you at? We are prepared. Nobody could hold out against Russia as long as we have with the weaponry that we have. And they're spot on. So what does Russia do? They start playing the game. They start pushing in with more pressure, more confusion. And here are a couple of things. Here's Lavrov talking about Poland taking over Western Ukraine.
Ну, вы знаете, я затрудняюсь комментировать высказывания многих европейских политиков, как и украинских политиков. Польша и те ее руководители, которые допускают подобные сентенции, ну, наверное, им лучше посоветовать заниматься изучением истории, своей собственной истории и тех событий, которые лежат в основе польской истории. Пока мы видим, что за разговорами о недопустимости какого-либо диалога с Россией польские коллеги начинают активно осваивать украинскую территорию.
Now, let me interpret that for you, because you have the English there. But what he's saying is Poland is working in Western Ukraine to annex it, to take it over, to come in and to make it one nation. And I've told you 3 or 4 weeks ago, Ukraine and Poland were talking about, other than voting, really coming together as a nation so they can stand together. Why are they talking that way? Because Germany and France and Italy doesn't have their back. This international situation, and Ricochet, you made a very good point there. Nations are trying to save face. Unfortunately, Ukraine can't save face. They're trying to save their nation. They're trying to save their heritage, their language, their culture, and they're being wiped off the planet. So Russia cranks it up a little bit more. I've been showing you guys and telling you nonstop, this is a holy war, religious war. Well, would you like to see what was on 60 Minutes? Not the 60 Minutes in the United States. Would you like to see what's on the 60 Minutes in Russia? All right. Up in the upper left-hand corner, you're going to see 60 and minute in Russian language. It's there, 60 Minutes. No Walter Cronkite and no Barbara Walters, but shamans, evil, and death to Ukraine and America. Here you go.
Я думаю, сегодняшний обряд послужит началом завершения этой спецоперации. Откройте ладони и черпайте жизненную энергию. Жить все в мире и согласии. Давайте все поднимем руки к солнцу и это все пожелаем. Пусть наши воины, что отстаивают интересы украинского народа и суверенитет России, будут счастливы. И пусть народ, который мы освобождаем от нацистского ига, живет счастливо и богато.
Чтоб Америка наконец-то включила бы свой разум. Шок.
You know, the stuff I show you here each night, it's better than watching the Disney Channel for sure. 60 minutes. We're not talking about some prison story or some failure or something that needs changed or even a good story. We're just showing the witch doctors putting curses on America. Good thing we're covered by the blood of Jesus. Now, I have mentioned this guy many, many times to you. His name is Rostovich. And we often, in fact, this may be the first time I've translated him for you because he speaks way too fast. I mean, you're going to hear him, but I've got it translated. Just a little while ago, this evening in Ukraine, he was having a conversation, and he is a good man. Rostik and I were talking about this guy last night. Good leader in the president's cabinet there. He's responsible for public relations. He does nightly video updates. He's on the news, everything with internal stuff inside Ukraine. But he made some projections talking about the West and the failure of world leaders. And he paints a very, very interesting picture. Folks, get your reading eyes ready. I've got it timed where you can read it pretty well. Do not try to look at him and read it. He's something. And if I need to play it twice, I will, because the world needs to hear this in English.
Останемся в области анализа. Останем в области анализа. Да, но когда тут же есть следующий ход на этой забавной партии, которое им-то надо учитывать, потому что это напрямую касается их интересов. А ну как Путин победит. Интеллектуальная фикция. Он не победит, конечно, он вдруг победит. Добавляем к 1,5 миллиона российской армии 500 тысяч украинской мобилизованной. Как, украинцы,
мы это уже не раз обсуждали.
Как украинцы воюют, все убедились уже. Все знают, что Российская Федерация не выиграла ни одной войны за несколько сотен лет без украинцев, в которой не участвовали на ее стороне украинцы. Прописью ни одной. Только одну войну с Грузией она выиграла все. За несколько сотен лет. Все остальные войны, где она победила, потому что воевали украинцы. На ее территории. Так вот. И все это поедет в Европу. Где эти все европейские армии, которые в подавляющем большинстве случаев представляют собой демонстрационные потешные войска, не способные к решению реальных задач обороны своей страны и своих наднациональных формирований, типа НАТО и ЕС, где они будут останавливать союз Украины и России, если таковой случится. И Белоруссию добавок. А это уже прямые их интересы. И вот те, кто это понимает, поляки, страны Балтии, британцы понимают, американцы понимают, канадцы, они вкладываются по полной. Эстония отдала 30% своих боевых возможностей Украине. Они маленькие, Эстония маленькая страна. Но они отдали, потому что они понимают, что каждый подбитый здесь танк – это танк, не приехавший в Эстонию.
That will be the best thing you hear tonight. I mean, I've got some good stuff coming up over the next half hour, but that will be the best thing you hear tonight. It's why we told you we like this guy, Arestovich. He's a good man. He's a Christian. He is not ashamed of his faith, and he tells the truth. He said, if you thought about it, what if we lose the war and now you add our fighting forces to Russia? Where are they coming? Ukraine. Most of the Europe. Most of the European nations are small, insignificant. What about NATO now? What about your European Union now? Only a few nations get it. And Estonia, the number one, giving up 30% of their stuff because they know that if the tanks are not destroyed in Ukraine, they're coming to Estonia. My friends, you will not see a wiser statement to help you understand what's going on in the war. Folks, I've got some great news tonight. Germany is sending heavy weapons to Ukraine. I have ripped Germany. Rostik has, Zhenya has. All God's children have ripped Germany. But they're sending heavy weapons to Ukraine. In November, it's June. In November, it's going to take Germany that long to process the necessary infrastructure, equipment, finances, documents, transfer things to get the heavy equipment to Ukraine. Let me explain to you what they're hoping for. They're hoping for by then that Ukraine is lost. I'm telling you. November. What a joke. On the map today, over on the left, Ternopil, the city right next to Khmelnytsky, was just struck a couple of hours ago. I've got that marked. I have a couple of maps I'm going to show you tonight, updating you on what's happening, especially where we've lost some territory. But Larry, I know you know this city well, Debbie. Ternopil has been hit. They hit a fuel infrastructure facility. Entire city's out of the gas right now. Of course, they'll work and repair it, but they have destroyed fuel infrastructure in Ternopil. Of course, you understand that's from the west coming to the east. Now, I want to flip over here and show you a couple of things that's kind of important tonight. Got some new maps. Hope you like them. Russia has pushed back in from the north here, back on the top of Kharkiv. This is Kharkiv. And they have moved an entire new batch of Iskanders right up here on the border. And they're just constantly shelling Kharkiv. Secondly, I want to draw your attention to on this map is right, I'm going to have to circle it for you. Right there. Russia crossed that river today, so they're going to be able to start pushing this way. They've been blocked by this river here, but they pushed in today. Now, the other thing is Severodonetsk. Here is a zoom in on Severodonetsk. It's not good. They have pretty much taken Severodonetsk back right through here. You can see the arrows. Ukraine is holding up on the hill in Lysychansk, and they've got a little bit down on the valley right there at Severodonetsk. But that's not the big issue. If you look at the map today, you see this arrow right here and then right here. Well, you guys see it, right? This is the concern right now. Ukraine has a pretty large force right here. And they are the ones that are right now backing out. They're having to, because they're very, very close to getting surrounded. General Staff said they should be able to pull back to defensive safe lines quickly and effectively, but they can't wait on it. They've got to pull back. And of course, when they pull back, it's just going to give more ability for Russia to push in this area. And then if you look over here, here's Slavyansk and Kramatorsk. And right now, we've got a big push coming down towards Slavyansk. So these are the hottest areas. And on the front lines today, it was not the best day. Germany's going to need those weapons to defend themselves. You know it, and I know it. We have a mess, folks. I don't know how else to say it. 108 days we've been here. We have a big mess, and we have no leadership in this world. And Vladimir Putler knows it. This is all calculated. Folks, on this Saturday night, June the 11th, you're going to be completely caught up to the minute with everything happening. Here we have now the passport deal going on. And I want you to look at these passports. You see, they say CCCP. Well, for those of you that are old enough, you remember that's the USSR. People have always wondered why. Why does it say CCCP when it's actually USSR? Because USSR in English letters is CCCP in Russian. It's actually SSSR. CCCP is not CCCP. It's SSSR. Soviet Soyuz Republika. Soviet Union SSSR passport. Well, Ukraine is full of these passports in zones. These were actually recovered in Kyiv, but these are the kinds of passports, because they're not able to print the Russian ones fast enough. They're pulling these out of the stockpiles and giving people in these captured zones these passports with the note that they'll get the new Russian ones soon enough. But these passports are there. They're being distributed. In fact, folks, Kherson is gone. It's Russia. They have to liberate that place. Kherson, I'll read the Russian for you. I know you can't read it, but I'll read it for you. This is a seminar, a conference in Kherson. I want you to look in the upper left-hand picture. You'll see the double-headed eagle of Russia. The little red at the top says Den Rossiya v Khersoni. Day of Russia in Kherson. And then you see the big title, Kherson Город с русской историей. Kherson, the city with Russian history. Exact translation, spot on. Starting the 12th of June, tomorrow, there is seminars and celebrations and festivals about the Russian history, beginning 9 a.m. Then it will continue with training, aka indoctrination, 13th through the 18th. It's also going to be broadcast on all the propaganda channels such as Russian Radio Kherson and Living Kherson, Living Russia. Meanwhile, we're sitting here going, you know, Mr. Zelensky, you should have listened to us. We told you they were coming. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Every day, it's getting worse. We must get weapons there. Now, I'm going to show you guys a story from Kherson. This is going to blow you away. How many of you know what a traitor is? A Benedict Arnold. I'm going to show you a Benedict Arnold. His name is Volodya Saldo. Vladimir Saldo. He was the regional governor of Kherson under Ukraine. He's now the regional governor of Kherson under Russia. Let that sink in for a moment. This guy that you're going to see was the regional governor elected in power under Ukraine. Then Russia invades. Now he's the regional governor under Russia. I have a video clip of him talking prior to the invasion. Then I have a little clip where here comes the rockets. And then look how he changes his story. This guy right here is no bueno. I call him the traitor of Kherson.
Всі українці хочуть жити в незалежній державі, в єдиній державі, не розділеної на південь, схід, захід, центр. Тобто Україна – це єдина держава. І я абсолютно переконаний в тому, що ніяких можливостей, я навпаки буду стояти горою за те, щоб Україна знову стала повністю цілісною, щоб і Крим повернувся, і Донбас повернувся. Тому
чтобы националисты на заводе «Азовсталь» не могли вылезти из катакомб.
Я могу назвать это событием историческим. То есть эпохальное событие для всех нас, кто вот сейчас в Херсонской области впервые вот именно торжественно получил подтверждение гражданства Российской Федерации в паспорт. Это самый главный документ, который вообще в жизни каждого человека есть. Поэтому для меня лично это событие действительно историческое и долгожданное. Я всегда думал о том, что мы одна страна, что мы один народ, и что вот эти вот события, которые происходили в последние десятилетия, искусственно придуманные для того, чтобы рассорить нас. Но, видимо, судьбе, и так должно быть, было угодно не дать этого сделать до конца. И вот доказательство тому, все те события, которые сейчас происходят. Для нас это новая история, для нас это новая жизнь даже. Для каждого херсонца это новая жизнь и интересная жизнь, потому что все новое, оно всегда интересно.
How would you see this stuff if I was not showing it to you? You're not going to see it anywhere else, I don't think. Did you just witness what I showed you? Oh, Ukraine. No east, center, west, or central. Ukraine is ours. We're going to get Crimea back. We're going to get Donbass back. It's our Ukraine, one nation. Boom, 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 boom. I love Mother Russia. Kherson, we've been waiting for you, you glorious redeemers. My passport, it's my key to life. You don't think that guy's on a hit list? He makes me angry, and I'm an American, but this is what Ukraine is dealing with. So how would you like to be in Ukraine tonight? I asked Zhenya, I said, what do you think about that guy? He goes, I can't answer that. I can't tell you what I think about that guy. I want him to be gone, but I'm a pastor. I want him gone. Greg, we're not getting any weapons. I mean, we've gotten some. I don't want to say any, but we're in trouble. We're running out. We shoot one bullet, they shoot 20. We fire one shell, they fire 20. We cannot keep up. And now we have our own people turning on us. Tough, tough day in Ukraine. But we tell you the truth. Time to harvest. Harvest projection in Ukraine reduced by 40% due to the war. Ukraine has lost 25% of arable land, meaning farmable land. Folks, that's a lot of land. The enemy has stolen about 500,000 tons of grain from the occupied territories. Not only have they stolen it, they're proud of it. They're proud of being thieves. and they broadcast it to the world.
Руководством Луганской Народной Республики стояла серьезная задача организовать вывоз зерна и реализацию зерна за пределы территории республики. Зерна осталось достаточно большое количество, реализовать его. Поэтому эта программа реализована, аграрии получили возможность вывозить свой товар за пределы республики. Это, конечно же, положительно скажется на экономике.
It's as if we're watching a World War II documentary in color right in front of our eyes. We just steal the grain, call it ours. We're doing a great harvest and export. Oh, there goes the train. Have a good trip. The Russian flag going by on the Russian news channel. I just translated it for you. How about our lesson for today? Follow the money. Remember, Germany's going to send some heavy weapons in November. It'll never happen, but in November. Let's follow the money. From January to April 2022, Germany increased imports and trade with Russia by 60%. This is not from Ukraine. This is not from Germany. This is World Economic Report. Follow the money. Our lesson for today, January through April. Remember, this invasion started February the 24th. February, March, and April, Germany increased imports and trade with Russia by 60%. During the same period, first 4 months of the year, Germany decreased Ukrainian imports and trade by 11%. And up there, you see the tweet with the data, with the charts showing, and I could zoom it in for you, but you can look it up yourself. It's just Google it. It's the truth. It's unbelievable. The country's committing the most of their GDP to Ukraine aid. Remember what Arestovich said? He says there's only a few nations that get it. You've got Estonia, Poland, Great Britain, the US, and Canada. That's it. Top two nations there giving the percentage of their giving to Ukraine against their GDP. Of course, Estonia is number one. They're small nation, but so generous. They know that if the war's not won in Ukraine, they're coming to Tallinn. The second one, Poland. You know, why is Poland so actively involved? And as I was looking at the map earlier, I want to show you why. I'm going to show you why right now, real quick. Let me go to a black pen here. So here's Russia. And they've already taken this. They're pushing for that. They've got Belarus. They've got Kaliningrad. Okay. They want Ukraine, of course. They have some Transnistria down here. They want Moldova. Well, folks, what is the buffer for Germany and France, Italy? It's this big nation right here in the middle, Poland. It's a huge buffer and barrier and protection. Why, maybe, is Germany being a little slow, being incompetent? Why is France incompetent? It's because Poland is sitting right here and Romania is sitting right here, and they're saying there's no way they're going to come to us. Maybe Ukraine, maybe into Poland, Romania a little bit, into the Baltics, but we're safe. That's what's happening. Poland is a very, very, very large country in area and really a big buffer against Russian invasion into the west of Europe. Not the rest, the west of Europe. So that's why you see Estonia, Poland, and these other nations up here giving a large amount. You see the sixth one there is the United States, and it's amazing. It's amazing because we have the largest GDP, of course. So it's significant. But of course, look down there at the bottom on the right. Deutschland, Germany. We appreciate it. Appreciate it, Germany. China Russian bridge connection opened actually yesterday. I was going to show you this yesterday, but Rostik and I got talking too much. Purpose: increased trade and cooperation. If any of you guys out there think that China is going to side with the United States or begin to side with Ukraine, you're gravely mistaken. China and Russia, they're in cahoots. New bridge, trade, cooperation has happened over the last 48 hours. And in fact, China is going ahead and rattling the sabers in regard to Taiwan.
卫部长强调，如果有人胆敢把台湾分裂出去，中国军队必将不惜一战、不惜代价，坚决粉碎任何台独分裂图谋，坚决维护国家主权和领土完整。
I mean, I don't know if it's me, but sounds like same speech Putler was giving 3 months ago. I know, and people out there going, listen, you are an alarmist. No, I'm not. Ever since COVID hit March the 12th, 2020, I was on a flight heading to Tanzania. We were there a few days, had to come back, got on the last bird out of Dar es Salaam, made it home, went through our quarantine. Everything was so new. We didn't know what to do here at the church to minister. You know, in Pennsylvania, churches were being shut down. We didn't have any clue what was going to be unfolding. At that moment, PK took the morning shift and I took the evening shift, and we started broadcasting online. We've been doing it ever since. Been watching these stories every day. And I know, I'm very confident, I'm accurate in this, very confident. To ignore Turkey into Syria, to ignore China and Taiwan, to ignore Russia and Ukraine. Meanwhile, and this has nothing to do with America, we don't talk about our own stuff here unless it connects. But meanwhile, gun rallies in America, our nation is struggling extremely. It's an extremely difficult situation in our country. And I know we talk about gas and then people start getting angry. Well, at least we have gas and we're not in a war zone. I agree with all that. No problem on that. But folks, it's just a symptom. It's just a symptom. Whether you talk about the border, fuel, economics, Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan, Japan, Russia, Turkey, Syria. Israel just bombed Damascus a couple of days ago, missile strike to the airport there. Turkey threatens Greece. Everything is happening right in front of our eyes, but we're just going to drink our sweet tea and everything will be okay. No. You know, I'm not a prophet. I'm just a preacher. But every time that through scripture, when prophets were screaming stuff, everybody was saying, oh, crazy. You're crazy. Yeah, until it happened. Until it happened. Then they blow your phone up and say, okay, why did that happen? What's going on? Folks, it's happening right in front of your eyes. And I am very thankful that you are here because you get it. But pretty soon, others are going to get it too, but we'll be ahead of the curve. While all this is happening, here's a little bit of things to make you smile. Russia and their Duma rejected the Lithuanian freedom resolution from 1991, recognizing Lithuania's independence. They've already voted to do it. And Matas, their minister of their parliament in Lithuania, said that Lithuania is going to revoke the 1634 Treaty of Polyanovka and demand that Putin submits to the authority of Vladislav IV and return all occupied territories to the Grand Duchy. Smolensk is Lithuania. If you want to go back into history, he said, well, Smolensk is ours. Smolensk is a big city in Russia, behind Belarus, south of Moscow. Well, after that happened, Ukraine came out on the left, the official document from yesterday. Ukraine cancels Moscow. Kyiv replied to the cancellation of the State Duma of the independence of Lithuania from Moscow. An order was issued from Kyiv to cancel the founding of Moscow by the Kyiv Prince Yuri Dolgoruku. The document says that the founding of Moscow is a historical misunderstanding and Moscow is now illegitimate. Y'all see all of this stuff happening? Jania and I were talking about this just an hour ago. I said, dude, look at all this mess. He goes, yeah. He goes, it's funny and everybody's canceling each other. I said, yeah, everything in America is being canceled too. He says, yeah, but while everything is being canceled, he goes, listen, and we need the laugh. You know, we need it. But while everything is being canceled right now, 100 to 200 of our soldiers are being eliminated every day, if not more. Turkey first, Syria, now Greece. This was Erdogan's tweet. Turkey neither violates anyone's rights or laws, nor lets anyone violate its own. We warn Greece once more to avoid dreams, statements, and actions that will lead to regret, as it did a century ago, and return to its senses. Turkey will not relinquish its rights in the Aegean Sea and will not refrain from using the powers granted to it by international agreements for the armament of the islands when necessary. That's what I was talking to you about. We basically have a ticking time bomb, not only in the Middle East, in Europe, and I'm sorry, in North America as well. Come, Lord Jesus, quickly. I want to teach you some Russian tonight. Mariupol. This is not Russian, that's Ukrainian. So, folks, I'm going to ask you now to buckle your seatbelts. I'm going to change gears on you. And I need you to buckle your seatbelts. Because I'm just going to show you some stuff now that you need to see and the world needs to see. Let me make sure I'm up on the comments before we do that. No one is safe as Putler's not stopped. That's correct. Poland will not allow history to repeat. I think that France and Germany are counting on that. Ricochet, that's perfect. We should offer Putin land for peace. Germany needs to give the region of Bavaria and France the French Riviera. That's good. CZ, North Korea and South Korea. This is, yeah, North Korea and South Korea. Good point, sir. It's everywhere. All right. We're all caught up, and this is where we're going to conclude tonight. I've updated you completely on the map. It's been a very difficult day in Ukraine. We've had some losses today. You're updated on the politics of it. You're updated everything. The last few minutes of the program tonight, I want us to focus on Mariupol. The sign I'm showing you there is the sign heading into Mariupol pre-war or this invasion. As you can see, beautiful sign there. The city of Mariupol was founded in 1778. And I want to teach you something tonight about the Russian language versus the Ukrainian language. You see the anchor sign there on the sign. Of course, it's a seaport. And then you see these letters. And I'll just call them with maybe an English so you can understand it. The first one's an M, and then you have an A, and then you have a P. Looks like a P, but it's an R. And then you have the letter I. Then you have a Y, which is U, Mariu. And then you have a goofy sign. Looks like a staple. That's a P. So the P is an R, and the staple's a P. I know, tough language. Mariupol. And then you have a triangle. That's the L. And then you have the Makiznak, which is the little B. That doesn't even have a sound. That's just a sign. That's Ukrainian. And that says Mariupol. How do I know that's Ukrainian and not Russian? Well, the fourth letter there, M-A-R-I, I. In the Ukrainian language, they have the letter I. In the Russian language, there is no I. And you say, well, don't they have the same alphabet? Basically, yes. Basically. But this letter, I, is in Ukrainian, and in Russian, it's not there. Instead of the I, you have a backwards N. I know. You guys are getting there going, oh my gosh, I couldn't speak this language. So this was today. Now, M-A-R, the I is gone. You see, it looks like an H. It's actually a backwards N. That's the sign for, or the sound E. Then the Y is the same. The staple, the O, the triangle, Mariupol. But look, the date's gone, the sign's gone. Up at the top of the monument, you've got 4 heroes of Russia on these little pictures. And then it's painted, of course, with the red from the bottom, the blue and the white. But look at the alphabet. Mari. They changed it. Okay, so Mariupol completely changed. Now, let's take a look at the difference. Mariupol on the left. Now you know Ukrainian, Mariupol. And the beauty of Mariupol. There is the drama theater. The beautiful white building with the red roof in the downtown area. On the right, look even at the sign. Mariupol in the blue and the yellow, they've got their nice anchor in the city date. On the right, we just rip stuff down and have it looking like trash. And there's the beautiful drama theater. I learned Russian watching Rocky IV. Okay, dude. That's good. You're Drago. So you see the difference. Now, folks, I'm going to ask you for your indulgence. These are the last things I'm going to show you tonight. Mariupol. This is actually Freedom Square in Mariupol. This is where the Ukrainian flag would fly. Of course, now the Russian flag flies. It's a photo from today. It's been renamed Lenin Square. How is this happening? Look at the buildings in the back. Just bombed. Would you like to see a bank? How about a bank in Mariupol? All right. Because there's basically no buildings left. Here's a bank. Centralny Respubliki Bank. A metal shed. Just look at this. There's your bank. Yeah, welcome to the Centralny Respubliki Bank. Beautiful, very high level. I mean, state of the art. Isn't it wonderful that Russia has come and liberated Mariupol and set it free? You want to see liberation? Here's liberation. This is a person driving around Mariupol today, but a specific area. This is the stuff the world needs to see. If you ever wonder why we're here every night, and you're here every night, that's why right there. Folks, that's just one. You realize that was a straight line. It's terrible. And I saw the question earlier, where are the people? They're standing in the humanitarian aid line at Metro, remember that I showed you, hoping to get some food or some water. There are no people. This was a city of 450,000 people. Metro over 500,000. They're gone. And yes, CZ, you're right. Many of those graves are 5 deep. It's mass. And that's just one. The reason I showed you that one is because he just drove in a straight line. I didn't doctor that. There's no editing that. That's Mariupol. That's the liberation and freedom. Tonight, you're going to get off of here and get you a snack, watch a television program. Maybe you're in the West Coast or a different country. You're starting your morning, you're hanging out with your family, whatever you're doing. Tomorrow, you get up and go to church, and life is normal. Life is not normal. Our world is in a terrible situation. The final thing I want to show you tonight, and I really am doing this on purpose. I did save it for the last thing of the night because I want to ask you to watch this. 2 minutes. Why are they buried above the ground? They're not. They're stacked. That was all done with machines and shovel. Listen, dude. It's terrible. It's terrible. Last thing I want to show you tonight, and I do have this translated for you. Young man standing on the beach. Just a couple of miles from that graveyard in Mariupol. This young man worked at the Azovstal steel plant. This young man lived right there adjacent to the Azovstal steel plant. He gives his lament from the beach. He gives his lament. When was this video recorded? Yesterday. When was it translated? Today. Where was it? Mariupol. 100%, because he's going to show you the Azovstal steel plant. Russia's been in control of this city for a long time. And what you're getting ready to see is unacceptable.
Реалии нашего города, Мариуполя. Море, все красиво. Вот зашлаковая гора Азовсталя, где я работал. Там где-то мои гаражи разрушенные. Вот люди купаются, да. Немножко увеличим. А вот пляж и вот труп, который лежит, который уже разложился. Вот одежда человека. Кто он был? Что он? Положили в мешок пластиковый. Подходить не буду. Сильно близко. Потому что, сами понимаете. Вот такие вот реалии у нас здесь. Церковь. Дома обгоревшие. Это Виноградная Ляпина. Это Комсомольский бульвар, многоэтажки, которые сгорели. Где-то там мой дом. Квартира, в котором сгорела, дом разрушенный под снос. Взамен ничего не обещают. И вот так вот везде. Трупы, которые никому не надо. Нахрен. Так и живем. Люди отдыхают, загорают, купаются. Сука.
Yesterday, filmed on the beach in Mariupol. And you wonder why we're here every night and why we're raising aid and why we're pleading with the world. What are you doing? Folks, it is 2022. And I'm sorry, but this is not, please, I work in Africa. Okay? So I will bring Bearings on here and tell him this right to his face, and he would agree with me. This is not some little village in Africa where, nobody knows where it is, and, there's tribal wars or Muslims and Christians, and we hear about it and we read about it. It's not a big city. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's no television cameras. I'm not minimizing it. That is equally important. But this is not somewhere where nobody knows about it. This is on the beach in beautiful Mariupol. Dead bodies just laying there, decomposed. You say, well, why don't that kid pick it up? He told you why. He said, I just can't. It's obvious he's in shock. His work is gone. He worked at a soft stall. His home is destroyed. He's looking at a dead body on his beach. And there's nothing. This is why we're here. Every 23 hours it changes. That's where we leave it tonight. So tomorrow, when you're at church, make sure you request prayer for Ukraine. And if anybody tells you you don't know what you're talking about, just smile, because you know the truth. You guys have a great night. Be blessed. We'll update you in 23 hours. Peace to you, and peace to Ukraine.